Hi, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Stafford.
And we're JS Floyd. We invite you to check the forecast.
Available on all platforms now.
So we've been making albums together now for quite a while. We're up to number 5 now. And we've discovered how different we are as people in terms of what we think music should be like. And so it is a compromise between almost two different worlds, but they're the same world.
Yeah, one of us will come up with an idea or a kernel of an idea and either carry it forward and have the other kind of match the vision of that, or just pass it off to the other and say, do something with this, make this happen. And so we end up coming at collaboration from a couple of different points of view. And most of the time it works out. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does. I was influenced in the beginning by Ramsey Lewis. And I thought that the Ramsey Lewis trio was just out of sight. That he could just
awesome.
Yeah, he could just sit there at the piano and play whatever the top 40 thing was going on in the day and make it awesome. So we did a thing that's kind of a bite on the in crowd, and we call it In the Crowd. And we're kind of excited about that. And that's kind of a little homage to Ramsey Lewis and his trio from the 60s.
And all of the music that we create is really a regurgitation of the soundtrack of our lives.
Yeah.
And we grew up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and that music was the foundation of who we are. And so you can hear elements of all of that in our music, but told in a way of J.S. Floyd interpretation.
Yeah, from our own point of view.
For our own, yeah. That.
In the live show, we kind of set up me and Johnny, and we've had an opportunity to work with some great musicians, Steve O'Thayard, John Hart, Gail Johnson, Sekou Bunch, Vince Fawcett, a whole bunch of different cats that bring a lot to our music because they hear our music the way we hear our music, and that's real important when you're collaborating in a live situation.
The live thing, though, you have to know where we came from. When we were coming up, it was Willie Feaster and the Mighty Magnificents.
Oh, Baby Huey and the Babysitters.
Oh, my goodness. And then later...
Kool in the Gang.
What?
Are you kidding?
And then after that, Prince came along, and The Time. And those bands, it wasn't just playing the song. It was making an entire presentation. Yeah. And that's what we used to do. And we had a 9-piece band doing routines out front, singing the stylistics, Hurry Up This Way Again, and making them scream. So that's where we come from. And now... It's me and Staff, and we...
Even before that, we had a singing group, and we used to put a Temptations record on and go to the house party, you know, with the red light in the basement.
Yes.
And we'd be doing routines. Nobody singing anything, just pretending to be... our friends, the little girls, they would scream and holler, "Oh, you're the greatest." Oh, okay, I guess
That's
so.
where we came from.
That's where we started.
So now to get all the way here, to recreate those moments are what we're trying to do now.
It's been a journey, but it's been a great journey.
We realize after all this time that making music is actually creating art. And you cannot tell someone how to create their art. It just comes out. And I create art, and Stafford creates art. And sometimes we want to critique each other's art, and we bump it together like that.
Yeah, making music is an intellectual sport. If it feels good to you, that's what you do. And then someone has to make an objective input into whatever it is you're doing to come up with something that we can call a true collaboration. And that's the challenge of the creative mind.
That's where we have arrived with this album as a true collaboration.
Right.
And it's not all your way, and it's not all my way, and it's not all his way.
Right. If you think it's something different, then you should check the forecast.
See what's to come. You know, so we're making all these songs, and we're like, "Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like what you did there."
Oh, that's really strong. But this one over here is...
And then we came up with one sound that was a little bit different from the way we had been approaching it. And it gave us, it felt like a more now sound or a more today sound, which kind of moved us in a different direction of how we were normally doing things. And that single is called Sunrise, and it's on the Check the Forecast album.
Ooh, sunrise like a new day.
Like a brand new day.
I just thought that we're doing it different.
Yes.
It feels better too.
Yes.
Our consciousness changed when music moved into a digital age, because as musicians, you couldn't make a record, you couldn't make music unless you collaborated. So when it came to a point where you could press a button and have drums, and you could do something else over here and make it sound like strings, or do something else over here that made it sound like horns, we kind of became elitist in our attitude towards creating music, and we always wanted to do it from, I guess, what you call an old school point of view, so that our music was authentic to us and not a reflection of some technology that was brought forward
At that moment.
at that moment. You know, we try to live in the moment of creativity and not in a moment of technology. And that's how this new album, Check the Forecast, and even the last album, The Forecast featuring Jazz Floyd, that's how those two albums came about. Oh, in the beginning, you had to play or you couldn't make music. There was no such thing. There weren't computers. There was no internet. There were no drum machines. You had to play, and you had to find other players and get together in somebody's basement or somebody's garage and figure out how to make that music. And a lot of times it just ended up on a cassette, which is long since disappeared.
And some of that music that those people created was the greatest music that there ever was. It's the soundtrack of who we are. But some of those artists you don't hear from anymore because they have not been able to make the transition to the way we used to make music in a studio at $100 an hour and the way we do music now with a computer. And so some of those voices have been silenced for that reason. And we've been able to bridge that gap. I had an opportunity to work for Guitar Center. I worked there for 16 years, so I saw all the equipment. I saw all the software, and we incorporated all of those things into our home studio where we work now, which is called Digital House.
Right. There was a time before the technology, you couldn't come forward unless a record company was involved, or you had somebody spending a whole lot of money to press this, to promote that, to take pictures. Now we can do it all ourselves, so that we can present ourselves, and that's what we use the technology for.
We spent close to $200,000 going in $200 an hour studios to come up, and never really made that money back from the sale of whatever product we came with after that. And we kind of made a vow to ourselves that we're never going to spend that money to record again.
Not like that.
Not like that. But if we can record at home and take our time and develop our ideas, that's what we've been doing. Recording at home, taking time to develop our ideas. Right. And our idea right now is check the forecast.